All right, hello everybody. We're gonna go ahead and share my screen, finish up for this week real quick. All right, so key takeaways from the other optional Women Enough to Win. We want to talk about how the Olympics is a historically as gender scrutinized, especially when it comes to female athletes. The disrespect and lack of autonomy that happened within those tests. Let's talk about um, how degrading it was to have to go through physical examinations of their genitalia, of how then we moved on to like more chromosomal testing, and then we realized that those have variations as well. Then we went into these PCR, right? Yes, I got the right PCR testing, and how we were really looking for hormonal levels, and then we were realizing as science comes, those overlaps and how those might be not the most efficient way to do that, and how other genetic variations or possible outcomes are not being monitored in the same way or restricted in the same way. So we really want to, as we're reading this, ask who is being monitored, who isn't, how this relates to brain scans, and like how that scientific bias or misrepresenting data or information might be playing a part in here, and how it relates to five sexes and how it builds on this inequality, and how because our understanding of sex and the variations within sex is now there, how we can or how we are building an exclusionary practice within our sport systems, and how these things may these practices are reinforcing a binary, very problematic and oppressive ways. And so I applaud you for reading that. If you did, if not, you can always go back to it. It's a fairly short read. And because the Olympics were just on, it's something that I think we can talk about in very distinct ways. Also, I want you to also think through how international political environments, including like what nations have power, might influence this, as well as how race might play a part in this as well. So as you're reading that, when you're asking who is being monitored, make sure you're asking not just what gender is being monitored, but what race is being monitored, what nationality is being monitored, and why these things might be happening, and who might benefit from them. And we also might want to think through how we're having these conversations in other ways when it comes to female athletes within our own country, and what things as an Olympic committee came up as scrutinized in this process. Things like marijuana usage and how that might be different, and how it's seen in maybe a white male swimmer versus a female black runner, and why we might be looking at this in different ways, and why those things might limit in ways that produce oppressive and forces that are not congruent with the actual statements of what their purpose are. And so just kind of think through those, think through how they talk through current events, and that might help you with some of your reflection pieces. Also, real quickly, I just want to go through this week's task. Make sure you read, watch, or listen to all the required readings and media for the things. Make sure you try to complete your bonus point survey. Again, it's super short, super quick. It's 10 bonus points out the gate. And make sure that you follow the instructions on that, so that I know who it is, because I'm not going to know based on the actual survey results who you are. So I want to make sure that when you're moving into that, you're doing the instructions and emailing me after with your name and your pronoun and telling me that you did that survey. Please make sure you follow those instructions. Make sure you're completing your initial discussion board post and doing your discussion board response, and that should be up, and that should link you straight into the Discord app that you can do on your phone. So that will make that process hopefully a little easier, and make sure that you follow the instructions provided on how to do a discussion post that are in your syllabus. If you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out. And then make sure you complete your module quiz. There's only 2 questions on that, and then I think I put in a bonus question too. But you have 3 attempts to do that, so make sure that you utilize those attempts if you don't get the grade that you want to. It should only keep the highest grade. If for some reason that glitches, I'm going to be paying attention to those things on Blackboard this week. So if for some reason I need to change that, I will let all of you know. But I hope you guys have a wonderful 2 first weeks. Again, always reach out if you have any questions about anything moving forward. Also, as this week's tests are mostly about the module, don't forget to look into the syllabus instruction. Make sure you read the syllabus, watch the syllabus video, at least watch the syllabus video or put it in your ear so that you have that. It's a little bit longer, but it'll key on those key assignments and help you kind of have less questions. There's also an entire folder that talks about the bigger projects and has some videos in it too, so that way, if you want to get a head start or you want to know what's coming, those are in there as well. I hope you have a great week again and reach out. I'm here with any questions.